On a smooth Tuesday afternoon. How's everyone doing? It's the Teddy Bear, and welcome to Night Tracks. Lord have mercy. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and tuning out all the negativity and speaking in, tuning in. Gifted saxophonist, incredible artist. Had the pleasure of having this very talented gentleman back on. Wow, 2014. Retro Forward. From there, breaking through, new album, of course, Unleashed. The one and only, super talented Mr. Eric Darius. My man, how have you been doing?
Teddy Bear, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Uh, Everything has been going fantastic, man. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us. I know you've been out on tour and you have been doing a fantastic job. The feedback has been incredible, and I must say,
Wow.
I'm a little bit. I'm not going to say surprised, but I got kind of hooked on when I got hooked on Retro Ford and then hooked on breaking through. I said, wait a minute, what is he going to do to top this? And man, Unleashed, man, you did an incredible job. And some of the people that you had working with you on this new project has been incredible. But I wanted to ask you, first and foremost, what do you think about the overall project? How do you think you did?
Oh, wow. Honestly, well, first of all, thanks for having me back. It's great to see you. And thank you for continuing to support us, the artists. And thanks for this beautiful platform. So it's great to be hanging with you again. And honestly, this album, honestly, I feel like it's my best one yet. You know, as an artist, I'm going to continue evolving, continue trying new things, and just stepping out of my comfort zone and go somewhere I've never gone before musically. And I feel like that's truly what this album represents is this new direction, bold direction that I'm going in. And I'm unleashed like never before. And I really feel like it's my best work yet.
Well, it definitely comes across in the entire album. I was sitting back and thinking about a lot of the things that's been taking place as far as the pandemic is concerned.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like looking at, I'm like, you have a birthday with what, about 2 months away from now.
Yes.
And I look back, retro forward. Now we have a lot of retrospective, so to
Right.
speak. How have you been able to spend your time as far as being able to kind of give a quick retrospective as far as your life, your career in music, and the things that you have planned, not only for you, but also for your family?
Well, that's a great question. You know, honestly, with everything that's happened over these past few years with the pandemic, it really forced me to step outside of my comfort zone. And I had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable because there was just so many circumstances that we had no control over. But it really forced me to dig deep, do some soul searching. It gave me a whole different perspective on life, on music, on family, on relationships. And that's really what this album represents. It's a reflection of everything that happened over these past few years and just taking the good and the bad and just trying to turn it into something positive. And, it was really a good time for me to just take a step back, because I've been on the road 24/7, 300 days out of the year for the last 20 years. And it just really forced me to really get back to the basics. And
Without
um,
question.
and I think
Well,
that's a reflection in this whole project.
I want to harken back to the last time I had you on the show. And one of the things that you talked about was growth,
Right.
learning not only to become a better musician, but also becoming a better man,
Right.
learning more patience about
Yes.
oneself, understanding who you are, and growing in this business. When you go back 7 years ago and where we are right now, where have you seen your growth as strictly as a musician?
Wow. Honestly, I feel like I've grown in every aspect as an artist. From a creative standpoint, now that I have my own record label, Sagittarius Music, being an independent artist has given me just freedom of creativity. And I think with that newfound freedom, it's given me the opportunity to truly explore musically, to try to go different places I've never gone before. As an artist, I've grown. I continue to evolve. I go back to the music that inspired me growing up from Earth, Wind, and Fire, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, James Brown, Prince. And I always want to go back to those sounds, but take it somewhere else. So I feel like over these last few years, just with the experience, just life experiences, relationships, and everything that's happened in my life, it's taken my music and my artistry to a whole nother level. So I'm not the same guy I was 7 years ago. I'm a refined, polished version, and that growth will continue as the years come along.
One of the key essential points that I really truly admire about you, one of the things that you continually harp on, even during that time, Teddy Bear, freedom.
Yes.
Freedom of expression. I have to have the ability to express myself as an artist. And a lot of times when we're signed to a major level, they want to confine you and put you in a box and try to put you in a certain kind of demographic. They want to take that level of creativity
Right.
away from you. And I know creativity is the essential part of who Eric Darius
Yes.
is. So I want you to give, kind of elaborate to the watchers and the listeners out there, how important is the creative process for Eric Darius?
Honestly, the creative process is everything. As an artist, that's truly how you're inspired, you're motivated, you want to keep making music because you're constantly going that extra step to push yourself musically. And for me, musically, I don't have a box. I listen to R&B, hip hop, jazz, rock, funk, reggae, soul, afro. And so musically, I always want to incorporate all of those elements that I enjoy. And one thing that I learned is you have to stay true to yourself. And now that I'm an independent artist, I make my own decisions. It's a huge responsibility, but I am 110% staying true to myself, true to this gift that God gave me. And I just want to make music that's relevant for all generations. I don't want to be held back in any way. And it's just been a really liberating experience these past several years as an independent artist. And I really feel like it's been reflected in the music that I'm creating.
You've always made a point of having balance in your life.
Yes.
Balance is important in everything because if we don't have that kind of balance, we have a tendency to waver a little bit to the left and we
Right.
kind of lose ourselves. But you always want to keep things on a very natural, organic way of doing things in the process of making music. How have you
Absolutely.
been able to maintain a level of balance in your life?
It's a struggle, and it's something that I'm constantly working on, something I'm constantly striving to create more balance because it's a blessing to be busy. And it's a blessing to be constantly on the go, making music, performing, but it's really the life experiences that gives me the inspiration to make music. So I have to find time for everything. And I'm a husband now. So family life is super important to me. I grew up in a household that's so closely tight knitted that I still know that that's the foundation of everything I do, my faith, my family, and that just goes into the music that I create. So balance is everything. I think it was probably about 12 years ago, I took my first vacation. And, this is after doing over 100 shows a year since the time I was 12.
Right.
And it was in that moment of just nothing and stillness that I realized, you know what? In order to be the best version of myself and in order to be able to give all of myself, I have to recharge, I have to rejuvenate, I need to refocus. And so I make it a conscious effort every single year to step away at least 2, 3 times a year just to be able to do that, just stay grounded. And that's what really helps to keep me going, keeps me focused, keeps me grounded. And that's really what helps to create the balance that I have in my life. That's everything.
I remember right before you became married, and a song by Luther Vandross came on.
Uh-huh.
Stop the Love, Come Home from the Road.
Oh yeah.
And, and I said to myself, I said, wait a minute. Eric is constantly on the road, traveling, touring. And I'm saying, when did he find time to have this very special, unique lady in his life to get him to say, you know what? I'm ready. I need. and I notice in your music a lot of your personal transparency you incorporate in your music, and I can feel the love and the essence of what love is, and the love that you have for your wife. It exudes in your music. Can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit more to the watchers out there, listeners?
Absolutely. I feel so blessed that I truly found my soulmate. She's my why to everything that I do. And she inspires me. And she's an amazing teammate. She helps me run my record label. And so it's a beautiful thing that we do life together through music, through everything that we do. And, I'm just overfilled with love, overfilled with joy. And it's just oozing out of me. And I have to get it out musically. So with my music, there's a lot more passion, there's more purpose, it's love driven, because that's what's going on in my life. And I think it's important to be transparent, to be vulnerable, allow yourself to let the listeners in. And that's the beautiful part of making music, is whatever's inside is what's coming, and outside, and that's what people are listening to, and that's what they key in on. So hopefully they can feel and hear a new sense of just love and passion and purpose. And my wife is a big part of that.
Well, the two times that I had an opportunity to see you perform live, you exude so much energy, so much unabandoned passion in your music, and you're taking the crowd on some type, I like to say, some type of spiritual musical journey.
Wow.
And your live performances. I gotta ask you, after such an exhausting performance, how long does it take you to come down from that?
It varies, but I'd say generally it takes me at least 3 to 4 hours, because I'm on such an emotional high every time I step on stage, and just the energy and electricity I feel from that audience. I mean, that's truly what fuels me. And that's why every time I step on stage, I want to give 110% of myself, is for the fans. But after a show, it takes me a while to come back down. But when I come down, I crash. like they say in sports, you leave it on the field.
Right.
And for me, I leave it all on the stage. I can't take it home. So I want to give all of myself every single time.
Every artist that I've had the pleasure of conversing with, they said that a live performance is like an addiction. It's like an euphoria that can never be replaced. You get such a high when people are in unison, really truly vibing with your music. Your instrument becomes as one. It becomes an essential part of who you are, an extension of Eric Darius.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask you, your saxophone, I've heard and listened to a lot of great saxophone players over my lifetime, from Grover Washington Jr.
Ooh, my hero.
I still have my Wine Light album. I'm dating myself, but I'm all right with that.
Got it too.
Your saxophone has become an essential part, an extension of who you are.
Right.
Not just as an artist, but as a man. Can you give us a little peek behind the curtain as far as having that kind of relationship, being married to that particular instrument, being married to that saxophone?
Yes. And, I can actually take you back to the very beginning, when it first was a revelation for me. I grew up listening to music. My parents were always playing jazz and music around the house. And so every time I heard the saxophone, I felt this connection to it. Whenever I heard Grover Washington Jr., David Sanborn, I just loved the sound of the saxophone. But I saw the saxophonist play at my church. I was about 9 years old. And the soulfulness, the emotion, just the oneness with that instrument, I was just blown away. I was like, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to make people feel something through this instrument. And as I started playing the saxophone, I just felt like it was literally an extension of my soul. It's an extension of my voice. And it's a beautiful vehicle to use to connect to audiences what's within. And it's through this instrument. And just spending constant time, hours of practice and working on it, it truly is a part of me. And it's a beautiful thing, because there's nothing like it. The connection that you have with your instrument. It is me. I am the saxophone. The saxophone is me. We're one. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to express myself emotionally with this instrument. There's nothing like it.
I remember, it's interesting that you mentioned the great David Sanborn. I remember seeing him perform with the late, great Al Jarreau. And he did a song called Since I Fell for You.
Oh, yeah.
And I literally got goosebumps, because it was a marriage made in heaven. The way they were able to connect with the music and the vocal arrangement with him. It was incredible, and
Wow.
I get a lot of that from you. You
Mm.
exude so much emotion in your music, and I wanted to ask you your inspiration. We all have our different inspirations that inspire us to be great or stretch out for greatness. What are some of the cities that you have like a really love affair that you really truly get to just love to perform at?
I mean, there's so many. But if I had to name a few, I mean, obviously my hometown, Tampa Bay, that's where I grew up. So
Okay.
there's a special connection that I have to Tampa Bay because that's where my journey started. So no matter where I go, that's always home. So every time I play there, it's really special for me. But outside of my hometown, I love performing overseas. Japan is one of my favorite places to perform. They have such a love and appreciation for jazz that I've never really experienced anywhere else. I mean, truly, it's out of this world.
Yeah.
So to be able to go to places like that, where they just have a love for it, you feel a different type of way. It's really special. Europe, every time we perform in Europe and Italy, it's always a special time. Of course, LA, my hometown where I live now. I mean, there's just so many incredible places, but the beautiful thing is that music is such a powerful tool that people can relate to all over the world. So no matter where you go, music is that one thing that we all relate to, and it's such a beautiful blessing to be able to share that with everyone.
Without question. You mentioned Japan, and I've always said Japan and the European market, London, England, you
Yes,
name it, Sweden, Australia, they have a love affair with jazz. They
right.
totally love jazz. And I'm going all the way back to the 50s. They truly love jazz music. As a matter of fact, they still have record stores.
They do.
And yeah, and which is sorely being missed here in the States. So when you go there and they have these album covers with the liner notes, and they're like, wow, it's like they know every word, they know everything that I'm playing.
They
It
do.
is incredible. What is it like for you when you have, I don't like to use the term fan,
Uh-huh.
but someone who admires your music come up to you in a meet and greet and say, you know what? I really truly love what you're doing. Something I was going through at this particular moment in time, and this particular song that you did on your album, it really touched me emotionally. And I really want to thank you for that. How does that make you feel?
You know, that's probably the ultimate compliment that somebody can pay to me. You know, when somebody comes up to me and tells me that my music made a difference in their life. That's truly why I play the instrument. I feel like God gave me this gift of music to uplift people, to bring joy, love, and happiness. Um, and when they come up to me and share that and express that, there's no other validating or better feeling than that. And it just also encourages me and inspires me to want to do more because I want to touch as many people all over the world that I can with this gift of music. So it's a beautiful thing, you know, and I never take that for granted because I know that what we're doing is making a difference in people's lives. And that's what keeps me inspired and makes me want to keep pushing myself to even give more.
You know what? One of the great things I've always said about music, it has the ability to unite us. There are no color
Yeah,
lines. It's magical. It's such a euphoric feeling when you can touch so many different people from different ethnic backgrounds where color doesn't even exist
right.
anymore. You have the ability to encourage, to uplift so many people, man. And you have done a wonderful job in doing that. And
Thank
speaking of
you.
that, for those who are tuning in late, shame on you. But the teddy bear does forgive you. We're being joined by the super talented Eric Darius. And remember, Eric is on tour. So to get all the pertinent information, make sure you stop by his official website. That's at ericdarius.com. And also, while you're there, he has some wonderful merchandise. I'm talking about from hats to t-shirts. Do that, connect, get the new album, of course, Unleash. You can reach him on all social media platforms from that website. 2023, just a couple of months away. What are some of the goals that you have set for yourself for the new year?
Ooh, you know, I haven't quite gotten there yet because there's so much that's going on between now and the end of the year.
Right.
But as I kind of start looking ahead, you know, obviously I'm going to continue performing and touring. We're going to have a crazy 2023 tour schedule coming up. But I'm always looking at different ways to keep building the brand, trying new things. One of the reasons why I started my record label, Sagittarius. I'm a Sagittarius,
Yes,
just
you
in
are.
case. So hence the name Sagittarius Music.
Uh-huh.
One of the reasons I started my label is not only did I want to be an independent artist, but I wanted to also create a platform for other artists as well. So I'm planning on expanding the label. I'm going to sign new upcoming artists to the label as well, give them an opportunity, a platform to release and make music commercially. So that's
Okay.
something that we're definitely looking forward towards in 2023. Going to be on the road 24/7. I started this mission called On a Mission to schools as well about 15 years ago. I go to different elementary, middle schools, colleges, high schools all over the world to spread the importance of music education. And it's my way of paying it forward, inspiring the younger generation about following their dreams, playing instruments. So we plan on doing a whole lot more of that in 2023, because I just want to do as much as I can for the younger generation so we can keep music alive, keep it alive in the schools, and get more people, younger people, listening to jazz, playing instruments. And that's a big part of my mission and a big part of my why as well with what I do.
I'm so happy to hear you say that because I remember when I was growing up, music in school was essential. It
Right.
was in school, and then all of a sudden, somewhere along the way, they decided to rip that platform out of the school district, especially in the inner city schools. They took it out.
Yes.
I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right. So it really does my heart good to sit up and see a person of your character, your integrity, spend that kind of time to invest back into these kids because these kids need an outlet. They need something they can
Absolutely.
do instead of saying, you know what, being out here in the street, getting into trouble, but focusing on something that can take you to a whole nother level
Yeah,
in life. We get so used to not understanding there's a whole big world out there to see.
there is.
Yeah, we get so accustomed to what we only see in our neighborhood. There's so many things and avenues to see. If Eric Darius could go back 10 years ago
Okay.
in a time machine and have a conversation with that Eric Darius,
Mm.
what would be some of the things that you would say to him to help him prepare for this journey in music? Also, being a owner of his own label, control his narrative, control his master tapes, and be a leader in his
Wow.
community. What would you say?
Whew, that's a really loaded question. If I could go back in time, I would tell myself, stay the course. Stay true to yourself, stay true to your craft. God is the foundation of everything that you do, and the best is yet to come. So don't get discouraged. All the ups and downs in life in the music business, it's all worth it, because at the end of the day, you're blessed that you get to do what you love to do. You get to make music. But just stay encouraged, you know? And that's probably one of the things I definitely tell my younger self.
Well, in the words of my mentor, the late great Barry White, he said, "I can't get enough of your love, baby." Yes, Lord.
Absolutely.
Remember, family, once again, be sure to stop by Eric's official website. That's at ericdarius.com to get all the latest tour information. But more importantly, get that new album,
Yes.
Unleashed, brother.
Unleashed.
Yes, Lord. Brother, I want to thank you so much for joining me again. A happy early birthday to you.
Thank
I know it'll
you.
be celebrated in the right way. Much continued success, and hopefully soon you'll come down here to Houston and play for us, man. We really appreciate it and love you to death. Keep
I
doing what you're
appreciate
doing.
you. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for having me, and thank you for continuing to support my career. And we're just going to keep it going. So I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Much love, brother.
Same to you too, my man. The super talented Mr. Eric Darius here in the zone of LOTL Radio, Night Tracks. Lord have mercy. It's been a beautiful thing. Remember, family, be sure to get the new album Unleashed. And while you're there, he has some wonderful, again, wonderful merchandise, t-shirts, but more hats. More importantly, remember, get all the pertinent information, upcoming tour information. Be sure to support not good, but great music. And he is an extremely gifted artist. But while I have you here, to get all the latest updates, be sure to follow us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's at youtube.com/. Night Tracks Radio Podcast. You can also subscribe to our Facebook page. It's at facebook.com/LOTL Radio, The Zone. We're also on TikTok. Yeah, we're on TikTok. That's at tiktok.com/LOTL Radio. Thank you for tuning in and tuning out all the negativity. Without you, there's no teddy bear, Mr. Rated Extraordinaire, and definitely no Night Tracks. We'll see you on the other side. And as in always, keep it soulful here in the zone. Lord have mercy. Night Tracks Radio. It's a beautiful thing. God bless. Keep it soulful, family.